Hello and welcome to this new video. Today we'll be having a look on how to export an EXR sequence from Blender and import it into Natron, a free compositing alternative. So we have our scene here and we're just gonna immediately start with installing a add-on. The add-on is called Super Image Denoiser. It is currently, in my opinion, the best denoising add-on for Blender right now. What it basically does, it reuses obviously the existing denoiser, the open image denoiser, but it is executed with a very efficient and maximum quality node setup inside the compositor. And so once you install it, you get it right here and you can choose your denoising types. I recommend this for stills. Temporal denoiser is, as far as I know, still in development, but it works very great. And this is very useful for animations. But today we're just going to work with a still, so let's stick with this. Here you can check your render passes. In my case, I'm just gonna choose all of them because I think pretty much all of them happen in this scene. We have volumetrics, we have an environment, we have maybe transmission and so on. Let's just check it. And then we press add super denoiser here and also check use multilayer EXR. Then we hop into the compositing and we can see that the add-on generated a compositing setup for us. And so for this video, I'm not going to go into detail as to what all the passes do that you can export out from Blender. So we're just gonna stick with the basic passes that we get here. So as you can see, it already creates a file output node for us. And if we go into our node and node properties here, we can see it already set up a EXR multilayer, which means that it takes all these passes and saves it into one file. So first of all, let's render it. All right, so here we are in Natron. I finished rendering, and before we actually do anything, we need to set some stuff. So first go to Edit and Preferences, and then head over to the color management. Here you can see that we have the OpenColor.io configuration, and if you click here, you have a few different setups. So since we are exporting from Blender, we obviously want to use the correct configuration, the correct OCO configuration. Yeah, so we're gonna choose Blender. If you don't have this here already, you need to set this to custom config and then open your file path and then go to this file location. So to your program files, Blender Foundation, Blender 3.5 or your latest Blender version, and then to the version number, data files, color management, and here you have your config OCO. So we're just gonna paste this here and then just select it. And so yeah, this says the OpenColor.io config. Change requires a restart, so do that. In my case, I don't need to. All right, now that we have set up the preferences, we can go ahead and just drag and drop all the files that we need into our compositing panel. In my case, I'm importing an EXR as well as a PNG. This is just to demonstrate an issue that we will have. So first you can just drag and drop these into the viewer. So what's most likely going to happen to you as well is that the program will not choose the correct path that you want to see. In my case, it's giving me the diffuse path, but I just want to have the whole combined image. So I'm just going to double click here to on read and then go to output layer and choose my image path, which gives me my image. And basically this is pretty much everything you kind of need to know, just to like drag and drop an EXR in and choose your right path, which is here. But if we zoom in here and let's make a bit of space here. And if we press W in this view, we are gonna see an issue. And the issue is that the PNG and the EXR do not have the same colors. While we do have the correct color management set up with our Blender config OCO, we do not have the correct view transform applied to our image yet. The PNG is basically exported with this filmic view transform, but what we are currently looking at is just a linear image, like our linear EXR does not have the view transform, the filmic view transform applied yet. So yeah, this basically happens in every software, obviously, because you need to apply this view transform in every other compositing software if you want to have the exact same look here. Which, I mean, if you're not doing like anything too professional, I guess it doesn't matter. Even if you're doing something like something that you make money off, it's not that like detrimental. But I mean, it's not that much work to get it right, so I would definitely recommend it. So I had to take a bit of time to figure this out because I do not have a huge Natron background, and I do know how to do this in Resolve and set it up in After Effects. So it took me a bit of fiddling because Natron is a bit, it's a bit buggy, or it's a bit weird. It just behaves a bit, it just behaves strangely. So the way I approach this and the way it works for me is that I first of all change my viewing color space to linear. Then I go to my PNG and set it to sRGB. So now we're looking at the normal sRGB PNG. So now what we want to do is we're gonna select our cathedral and we're gonna press tab and type in OCO file transform and then press enter. And now we're gonna double click here and we are going to load in a cube file, a LUT. And you can download these from the link in the description. Don't worry, it's just a GitHub repository. And we're gonna open this. And first of all, we're gonna choose the scene linear. We have everything set to linear, and we're gonna set the linear to base encoding. And now this is still looking super flat, but we're gonna fix this by creating another OCO file transform. Double click this and make sure you're looking at the right one, because it happens to me quite often that I just end up changing the first one again and wondering why it doesn't work. So make sure that you are indeed looking at the second one. And we're gonna open this and we're gonna choose the base contrast. If we now swipe this around, we can see that the colors are not changing. There is some stuff going on and you might notice that. I don't know if YouTube is good enough compression for this, but there is slight changes, and this is just due to the image compression of a PNG, because in the EXR we can actually see the cloud detail here, but if I just swipe to the left, it gets all like lost in this sort of PNG banding and sort of compression. But the colors are identical and therefore fixed, and now you can basically work with this correctly and you can be 100% sure that the colors are correctly set up. Right, this is it basically for this video. This is not a full compositing tutorial, it's more of like how to import and do the color management. For the next video, I will most likely do a breakdown on how I composited my scene. And yeah, thanks for watching and have a nice day.